Welcome to this 10-minute Vinyasa Yoga Warrior Flow. We'll start in a seated position. Inhale, extend the arms skywards. Exhale, lower the hands to heart center. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. When you're ready, we will roll the shoulders back and down and transition into some side angle stretches, walking the left fingertips out, maybe lowering onto the forearm as you stretch the right arm up and over, and going on the other side, flowing with the breath. Nice, easy side twists. One more breath. Slowly making our way back to center, roll the shoulders back, and we'll transition towards the short edge of our mat, on our shins, toes untucked, and we'll take a seated variation of cat-cow. You might like to place the hands on the knees, and on our inhale we'll scoop the chest forward. Exhale, curl and round chin to chest. A few more like this, flowing with the breath. Really making these movements as small or as large as you like. One more round. And from here we will transition into a kneeling position. Knees are hip width distance apart, and we'll come into a heart opener camel pose variation. You might like to tuck the toes or keep them untucked, and we will reach around with our right arm for our right heel, roll forward and reach around with the left arm for the left heel, flowing with the breath, finding a nice back bend, heart opener. Being mindful not to overcompensate into the lower back. We want to keep the core engaged and ensure those hips are floating forwards. From here we will transition into a tabletop position. Shoulders are rolled back, wrists are underneath shoulders, knees are underneath hips, hips are squared. You might like to keep the toes untucked or tuck them, and when you're ready, we will transition into a standard variation of cat-cow, flowing with the breath. Really articulating each movement, being aware of the muscles engaging, stretching the spine, the neck, the shoulders. And from here we'll ground down in tabletop as we transition into a thread the needle, lifting the right arm up, scooping it under, perhaps lifting up the left arm, grabbing the inner seam of the right thigh as you rest the right side of your face on the mat, finding a nice shoulder opening. One more breath. Placing the left arm underneath the left shoulder, lifting the right arm up to the sky. One round of cat and cow to clear it out, and we'll go on the other side. Grounding down through the right palm, lifting the left arm skywards, threading it through. Rotating the right arm around to grab the inner seam of the left thigh. Relaxing into the posture, ensuring that the hips stay squared to the front of the mat. We're not swaying out to one side. One more breath. And placing the right arm back underneath the right shoulder and coming into tabletop position. You might like to take a round of cat and cow to clear it out. Tucking the toes, walking the fingers forward slightly, transitioning into our first downward facing dog. If this is your first down dog for today, you might like to bend the knees considerably, particularly if you have tight hamstrings, or you might find some movement to be quite restorative, walking out the legs, swaying the hips, ensuring that you're grounding down through the fingers, the knuckles, the arms. On our inhale, we're going to float up onto the balls of our feet and gently lift up the right leg into three-legged dog, externally rotating the right hip. We will hinge at the knee, bringing the right heel towards the buttocks, extending the leg, and on our inhale, we'll engage the core and bring our right knee towards our left tricep. Once more. Flowing with the breath. Again, bringing the knee towards the tricep, back to three-legged dog, and from here we'll float the right knee in between the hands as we transition into warrior one. Back foot is out on a 45-degree angle. You might like to join the hands together, create a slight back bend, perhaps keeping the eyes closed here. Front knee is in line with the ankle, tracking over the second toe. 2 more breaths. On your next breath, we will pivot towards the long edge of our mat as we come into warrior two. Taking a moment to settle into the posture. The back foot is relatively parallel with the short edge of the mat. Extending the arms, you might like to gaze over the front fingertips, perhaps keep the eyes closed. Really working on tucking the pelvis, engaging the core and lengthening through the crown of the head. Shoulders are rolled back and down. From here we will flip the grip of our front hand and transition into a sun warrior, revolved warrior. Left arm floats down the back leg, finding a nice heart opener, back bend. Framing the front foot, we will transition into a supported warrior three. You might like to join the hands together at heart center. Maybe extend the arms out in front, 1 more breath, and gently floating back into warrior one. We'll cactus the arms out sideways, finding a nice heart opener, framing the front foot, stepping back into three-legged dog. Gently lower the right leg. Take a moment to breathe, re-equilibrate, perhaps walk the legs out a few times. Again, floating up onto the balls of the feet, this time lifting up the left leg, coming into three-legged dog. Externally rotate the left hip, flex at the knee, and on our inhale we will bring the knee towards our chest. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, three-legged dog. Towards the left elbow, three-legged dog, and once more, back to dog, and from here we will gently guide our left foot between our hands, coming into warrior one. Back leg is out on a 45-degree angle. You might like to close the eyes here and work on your balance. Finding your breath. Squaring the hips to the best of your ability. And we will pivot towards the long edge of our mat, again coming into our warrior two. Taking a moment to find a comfortable variation of the posture, ensuring that the front knee is in line with the ankle. Again, you might like to keep the eyes closed here or gaze in line with the front fingertips. The legs are strong, core is engaged. 1 more breath. Flipping the grip of the front hand, we will transition into sun warrior, reverse warrior. Right arm floats down the right leg. You might like to gaze down at the foot or up towards the sky. Gently flowing forward, framing the front foot, transitioning into a supported warrior three. You might like to leave your fingertips on the ground, or again, play around with your balance. Maybe joining the hands together at heart center or extending them forward. 1 more breath and coming into a warrior one with cactus arms. Framing the front foot, stepping back into three-legged dog and downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, arriving in the body, being mindful of the breath. Now that you're familiar with the flow, we are going to take it at more of a Vinyasa pace, going through 1 movement for every breath. Externally rotate the hip, extend the leg back into three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, dog. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale. Once more, and on your inhale, floating that front leg out in front, transitioning into warrior one. 1 breath here. Turn to face the long edge of our mat, transition into warrior two. flip the grip of the right arm, the front arm, transitioning into Sun Warrior. This time you might like to wrap your left hand around your right thigh for more of a challenge, and transitioning into Warrior 3. It's okay if you wobble around a little bit. Maybe playing around with balance with your hand gestures, transitioning back into Warrior 1, cactus the arms, frame the front foot, step back into three-legged dog. One breath here, float up onto the legs. Left leg goes up, externally rotate the hip, hinge. Inhale forward, exhale three-legged dog. Inhale knee to elbow, exhale dog. Flowing with the breath. Once more. And on our inhale, we'll frame our front foot, transitioning into Warrior 1. One breath. Being mindful of all of the positions, transitioning into Warrior 2. Flip the grip, coming into Sun Warrior, finding a nice heart opener, back bend, side stretch. Framing the front foot, stepping up into our supported warrior. You can stay here if you like or find a balance. One more breath, and gently floating the right leg back, coming into a heart-opening Warrior 1, framing the front foot, stepping back into three-legged dog, downward dog, maybe walking it out once or twice, and transitioning into our final relaxation posture, child's pose. You might like to keep the arms out in front or place them down by your sides, palms facing up. Whatever's conducive with your practice for today. I invite you to stay in child's pose for as long as you like. Alternatively, you might like to conclude practice with a Shavasana, 5-10 minutes if you have it. When you're ready, we will transition into a seated position. Any variation that's comfortable for you. On your next inhale, gently float the arms skywards, joining the hands together at heart center. Twice more like this, finding length, stability. Thank you so much for joining this 10-minute Vinyasa style yoga flow. I hope you are feeling energized and ready for the day ahead. Namaste.